Hi, I'm Annalise. Today, I'm going to tell you my story. But before I continue, please share, and subscribe to hear more stories like this. It was supposed to be just another Tuesday night. I'd finally managed to get a reservation at Bellini's, that new Italian place downtown. My sister Marcy had offered to watch my 8-year-old daughter Emma for the evening. "You deserve a nice dinner out," Marcy had insisted. "When was the last time you ate somewhere that didn't have crayons on the table?" "Probably before Emma was born," I laughed. "But dining alone feels so—" "So what? Pathetic? Come on, Annalise. It's 2025. Single people eat at restaurants all the time." "It's not that," I sighed. "Between work and raising Emma, I barely remember what it's like to just be me. What if I've forgotten how to have a conversation that doesn't involve cartoon characters or marketing strategies?" "Then it's definitely time," Marcy said firmly. "Go, enjoy yourself. Order something ridiculously expensive and pretend someone else is paying for it." I was halfway through my caprese salad when a tall man in an expensive suit approached my table. "Excuse me," he said quietly. "I know this is strange, but could you please pretend to be my wife for about 15 minutes? I'll explain everything afterward." "Excuse me?" I nearly choked on my mozzarella. "Please," he whispered urgently. "My name's Daniel Pierce." Before I could respond, a woman's voice called out, "Daniel? Is that you?" Daniel slid into the seat opposite me, taking my hand. "Just play along." "Daniel Pierce, I thought that was you." A perfectly coiffed blonde approached, her smile not quite reaching her eyes. "What a coincidence." "Vanessa." Daniel nodded stiffly. "What brings you here?" "Business dinner with potential investors." She gestured toward 3 men in suits. "And you must be—" "This is my wife, Annalise," Daniel said smoothly. "Wife?" Vanessa's eyebrows shot up. "I had no idea you'd remarried. How long has it been now?" 3 wonderful years, Daniel replied, without missing a beat. "How did you two meet?" Vanessa leaned forward, interest suddenly intense. "Coffee shop," I blurted out. "I spilled my latte all over his laptop." Daniel chuckled. "Destroyed a presentation I'd been working on for weeks. But when she offered to buy me dinner to make up for it, I couldn't say no." "How charming." Vanessa's smile tightened. "And do you work, Annalise?" "I'm in marketing, digital campaign management." "Fascinating. Daniel always did appreciate a woman with ambition." Her tone suggested otherwise. "Actually," Daniel interjected, "Annalise just launched her own agency last year, already stealing clients from the big firms downtown." After Vanessa left, I pulled my hand from Daniel's grasp. "Okay, she's gone. Want to tell me what that was about?" Daniel sighed. "Vanessa's my ex-wife and direct competitor. We run rival investment firms, and she's been trying to poach one of my biggest clients. So I was what? Armor? A shield? Something like that. Our divorce wasn't exactly amicable. She left me for my former best friend and business partner." "That's rough, but still doesn't explain why you needed a fake wife tonight." "Those men she's dining with represent a $50 million account. Vanessa's been telling them I'm unstable after the divorce, drinking problem, unable to maintain relationships. Pure fiction, but it was working." "Well, mission accomplished. You can go now. Please, let me at least buy you dinner for your trouble." That dinner changed everything. Daniel was charming, intelligent, and seemed genuinely interested in my life. By dessert, I'd told him about Emma, my marketing career, and my dreams of launching my own agency. "We should meet again," he suggested as he walked me to my car. "Properly this time. No fake relationship required." "I don't know, Daniel. You're clearly caught up in some complex corporate drama." "Just coffee," he pressed. "I promise not to recruit any more fake spouses." Against my better judgment, I agreed. Coffee turned into lunch, then dinner, and eventually, after several weeks, Daniel meeting Emma. They hit it off immediately. "Mom, he knows all about Minecraft," Emma reported excitedly, "and he said he could help me with my science project." By the 3rd month, Daniel had become a fixture in our lives. He even offered to help me start that marketing agency he'd invented during our first encounter. "You clearly have the talent," he insisted over dinner at my apartment. And I have the contacts. We'd make an incredible team. I can't let you invest in me, Daniel. We've only been dating a few months. It's not charity, Annalise. It's a sound business decision. Your portfolio is impressive. And so Pierce Cooper Digital Marketing was born, a small but promising agency with 3 employees and growing client list. For the first time in years, everything seemed perfect. Until I met Daniel's assistant, Rebecca. You must be Annalise, she said coolly when I stopped by Daniel's office with lunch. Daniel's mentioned you. All good things, I hope? I joked. She didn't smile. He's in a meeting. I'll tell him you stopped by. I can wait, I said, settling into a chair. The meeting could run long, she insisted. Very important clients. When Daniel emerged 20 minutes later, he was alone. No clients in sight. Annalise? His surprise seemed genuine. What are you doing here? I held up the lunch bag. Thought we could eat together. Rebecca, why didn't you tell me Annalise was here? I was about to, she replied. Just wanted to make sure your call was finished first. I noticed how she emphasized call, not meeting. Once in his office, I asked, how long has Rebecca worked for you? About 5 years now. She's incredibly efficient. Practically runs the place when I'm out. You seem close. He looked up from his sandwich. We work well together, if that's what you mean. The next day, I received a text. We need to talk about Daniel. Meet me at Riverside Cafe at 2 p.m. Vanessa Pierce. I'm surprised you came, Vanessa said when I sat down across from her. How did you get my number? I have resources. Have you met Rebecca yet? The sudden mention caught me off guard. Yes. Why? Did Daniel tell you that she's been in love with him for years? That she deliberately sabotaged his marriage to me? I kept my face neutral. You left him for his business partner. That's what he told you? Vanessa laughed bitterly. Daniel cheated on me with Rebecca for 2 years. Jason was just a friend who helped me through it. She showed me a photo of Daniel kissing Rebecca at a company retreat. Daniel has a pattern. Find vulnerable women, charm them, use them, discard them. I wasn't the first, and you won't be the last. What's your angle here, Vanessa? Because I've been where you are, and because I know about Emma. My blood ran cold. What about Emma? Just that Daniel tends to use children as leverage, gets close to them, makes himself indispensable, then uses that connection to manipulate the mother. I didn't tell Daniel about the meeting. Instead, I started paying closer attention. The unexplained meetings. The text messages he hid when I entered the room. 2 weeks later, my sister called. Emma said Daniel picked her up from school today? What? No. She should be at after-school program until 6. She just called me from Daniel's car. I never authorized that, I said, my heart racing. Daniel answered my call instantly. Hey, beautiful, what's up? Where's Emma? We're getting ice cream. I thought I'd surprise you with dinner later. Daniel, you can't just take my daughter without asking me. What? The school let me sign her out. I said I was your boyfriend. That's not how this works. Take her home right now. When I got home, Emma was watching TV while Daniel prepared dinner. Before you say anything, he began. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it would upset you so much. You can't make decisions about my child without consulting me first, I said quietly. You're right. He hugged me. Total lapse in judgment. Forgive me? I stepped back. We need to talk about boundaries. Absolutely. But after dinner, I made your favorite pasta. The conversation never happened. Daniel expertly steered the evening toward other topics. The next morning, I found a diamond bracelet on my nightstand with a note. For the most important woman in my life, I'll do better. D. It felt like manipulation, but part of me still wanted to believe in him. 2 weeks later, I discovered why our biggest client had suddenly doubled their budget. Mr. Lawson was very impressed with your proposal, Daniel told me over champagne. That's strange, I replied. Since we haven't actually presented the proposal yet, the meeting's next week. Daniel froze momentarily, then smiled. Did I say a proposal? I meant portfolio. Later, I called the client directly. Mr. Lawson, I wanted to confirm our meeting next Tuesday. Tuesday? Daniel moved it to next month, said you needed more time after his investment. His investment? Yes. Pierce Capital just acquired a significant stake in our company. I hung up feeling sick. Daniel had been using my agency to sweeten his investment deals. That night, I called Vanessa. I need to know everything. We met at her home. She wasn't alone. Jason was there, along with another woman. This is Melissa, Vanessa introduced us. Daniel's ex-wife before me. Melissa's eyes were tired but determined. Daniel swept into my life when I was at my lowest point, she explained. My first husband had just died, leaving me with a mountain of debt and a 3-year-old son. Daniel appeared like a guardian angel. Charming, supportive, seemingly perfect. How long were you married? I asked. 11 months. Just long enough for him to gain access to my late husband's life insurance money and contacts in the banking industry. He used those connections to launch Pierce Capital. Once he had what he needed, the loving husband act disappeared overnight. He became controlling, manipulative, even cruel, she continued. When I confronted him about late nights and suspicious texts, he convinced me I was paranoid, emotionally unstable from grief. He even suggested I needed psychiatric help. Jason nodded grimly. Classic gaslighting. He did the same to Vanessa. They laid out Daniel's pattern. Find vulnerable women, charm them, establish business connections that benefited him, then discard them. Rebecca's his constant, Jason explained. Has been for years. Why are you telling me this? I asked. Because we're building a case against him, Jason said. Securities fraud, mainly. Melissa slid a USB drive across the table. Bank records, emails, texts. Everything you need to see who Daniel really is. After reviewing the evidence, I made my decision. Daniel deserved consequences. My plan started with a call to Daniel's most important client. Mr. Harrington, I need to speak with you about Daniel Pierce. 3 days later, I invited Daniel to dinner at Bellini's. I have big news, I told him. Pierce Cooper just landed Harrington Global's entire marketing budget. Daniel nearly choked on his wine. What? How? I've been courting their investment portfolio for months. I know. Apparently your pitch left some questions unanswered, but he was impressed enough to want to work with someone connected to you. That's incredible. I couldn't have done it without you. In fact, I think we should formalize our partnership. I slid a document across the table. A proposal for Pierce Cooper to become a subsidiary of Pierce Capital. These terms are extremely generous, he said, skimming the document. I already sent a copy to your legal team this morning. They seemed quite excited. Daniel's brow furrowed. You contacted my legal team? Just to expedite things. Oh, and I've already spoken with Rebecca about scheduling the signing. You spoke with Rebecca? She was so helpful. I leaned forward. Daniel, is something wrong? You seem tense. What Daniel didn't know was that my conversation with his legal team had included evidence of his questionable business practices. The merger document was merely bait. By dessert, Daniel's phone was buzzing constantly. He excused himself to make a call. When he returned, his charm had evaporated. What did you do? He hissed. I simply connected some dots, I replied calmly. Turns out Mr. Harrington was very interested to learn how you've been misrepresenting your company's holdings. And your legal team was fascinated by the evidence of you directing clients to Pierce Cooper in exchange for their investment in Pierce Capital. You've ruined everything. No, Daniel, you did that yourself. Your legal team is cooperating with the SEC investigation as we speak. 1 month later, Pierce Capital was under full SEC investigation. Daniel's reputation was shattered. 3 former clients had filed lawsuits, and Rebecca had provided damning evidence in exchange for immunity. I started fresh with Cooper Creative Strategies, with Melissa as my business partner and Vanessa's firm as our first client. We built our company on transparency and ethical business practices, the exact opposite of Daniel's approach. Our slogan became, Success Without Compromise, a subtle dig at Daniel's methods that brought a smile to my face every time I saw it on our letterhead. Our first year was tough. Starting over meant rebuilding client relationships and proving ourselves in a competitive industry. But word spread quickly about the talented team of women who had taken down Daniel Pierce. Some called it poetic justice. I called it good business sense. Daniel left a desperate voicemail. Annalise, please, I'm sorry. What we had was real. I made mistakes, but I loved you. Please call me back. I deleted the message without responding. The old Annalise might have wavered, might have been tempted by the pull of those carefully crafted words, but I'd learned to recognize manipulation disguised as affection. Mom? Emma asked one evening, will we ever see Daniel again? No, sweetie. He wasn't who we thought he was. But he said he'd help with my science project. I know. Some people make promises they don't keep. Like Dad did? The question stung, but I was proud of her perception. Some people, yes, but not everyone. And you and me? We keep our promises to each other. Always, she agreed, squeezing my hand. It took time for Emma to understand. She'd grown attached to Daniel in those few months. He'd made sure of that. I explained in age-appropriate terms that sometimes adults don't tell the truth, and that Daniel had been dishonest with many people, not just us. We made a new science project together, just the two of us. It won first place at our school fair. Tonight, as I finish telling you this story, I'm sitting in my new office. Cooper Creative Strategies just landed our biggest client yet. Emma is thriving. And last week I had dinner at Bellini's, alone by choice this time. The waiter approached with a glass of champagne. Compliments of the gentleman at the bar. I looked over to see an attractive man raising his glass in a silent toast. Thank you, I told the waiter. But please return it with my apologies. I've learned to choose my own companions very carefully. So now I'm curious. If a stranger approached you in a restaurant with an unusual request, would you play along or walk away? What does your instinct tell you about people who ask for such favors?